Welcome back. We're back at it again. It's April 13th, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's this Zwift Insider Tiny Race series. It's 4 races in an hour, every 15 minutes. I love these races. I'm back at it. This is in category D, which is my main category. I want to try category C in the same day and put those in the same videos where I run back to back C's and D's. But that eventually come. I have a lot of other stuff I'm doing nowadays, so it makes it a little bit harder to do. I want to thank all my subscribers, everybody who subscribes to me. I want to thank all the people who give me likes and comments. Hey, I greatly appreciate the comments, y'all. And I'm trying to get just as many likes as I do views, so please help me out. Let's get this video up to 100. Let's get this video up to 100 likes. Thank y'all very much for that. With that, we're gonna go ahead and get into these races. I'm gonna talk about this. I'm only doing 2 races of the 4. I only put up 2 races of the 4. I don't always put up all the 4 races because sometimes they're about the same thing, some of them. But this one had the Glasgow Reverse as the first race, and I tested out a theory that I had. If you had all arrow helmets, this race had all arrow helmets in it. There was 4 of them, so I wanted to see what would happen if I had all arrow helmets. And on the second one, there's a 1600 watt sprint that I did at the end, and y'all still gonna see a surprising outcome of that. With that being said, let's all get into the race. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And as we take off on this race, this is a fun race, and it didn't hit me after I started riding that this Glasgow that I had came up with the idea of what would happen if I had 4 arrow helmets. And as I'm riding, I'm thinking about that, and I'm going, oh, I wonder what would happen if I had all 4 arrow helmets. And then I remembered, you know, like I said, when I was starting to ride in the race, I remember, oh, you do get arrow helmets, there's 4 of them. So then I started strategizing, okay, how would I use the helmets? And I think I should have did it a different way. Maybe if I would race this race again, I would use it differently. But I didn't really start strategizing until after I started riding. But there was another way that I thought about it later on that I should have tried to use them, and I would have had a better time than what I had. But as you can see, we're riding. I'm riding behind the front guy, and I don't want to get out in front and lead the pack. I just kind of want to ride with everybody. I'm not trying to just leave everybody. I'm not trying to run away from nobody. I'm just trying to kind of blend in with the pack and just ride with them slowly. Now we get to this first turn. We come around this turn, and you know, with this race, there's only a couple of spots where I have issues on this race, and that's that first hill. Like I said, if you saw the video by now, it would have been up Monday morning. This video of the Glasgow Reverse race series, I put it up Monday morning most likely, and this one's gonna come out Wednesday because I'm doing that race Monday afternoon. The Zwift Community Live, I will be doing that, and I'm gonna probably post that Tuesday morning. So this will be a Wednesday morning video. So as we come around on this route, I look up and I see that, you know, okay, once we go around the roundabout, I'm going to try to get my speed up. Now, my numbers weren't quite what they were on the other day, but they were still very good. So we come around the roundabout, I go, okay, cool. Now, if I was using my head, I would have used my arrow here. And then I would have been fine. I should have used my arrow here, right here. And it would have got me a lot faster up this hill. Even though it's not as more arrow, that it would allow me to hold more speed here. But as you see, I get up this hill and I crest at about, I think 22 at the top of this hill. And once I crest there, you know, I gain the speed up and everybody catches back up to me. And I was thinking to myself, okay, cool. And I said, okay, cool, I'm at 22. Now this next one, I want to crest. I want to get it down to, once I make this left and I come down to the bottom hill, my goal is to get it up to 50 kilometers. And then when I get down to the bottom of this hill. So that's what I'm doing here. And, you know, and this is coming from racing with all the races I did in Cat C. So I get down to the bottom, I hit 50, and I come over the top. So my goal now is to crest at the top above 30 kilometers. And so I'm riding at the top, I'm coming up to the top, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, once I hit this turn, I'm gonna hit this first arrow helmet, which I don't think I should have done. But I hit the arrow helmet here, and I come down, and when I get to the bottom of this hill, you can see that I hit 62 kilometers. almost 63. I was rolling. And once that happened, the rest of the D's were way back. You know, C's had problems keeping up with me, so this is not their issue. Everybody has a problem with my weight coming on the hill, so I just constantly wrote that out. And what I did here is I waited till we hit double zeros, and I hit the other arrow helmet. Right here, I hit the other arrow helmet, and you can see that my numbers never really came down. They stayed up there. What I should have done is hit the arrow helmet on both dips, and it would have made a lot more of a difference. I really do believe that. So as we come around, I do that, and we're coming back around this corner, and I'm looking at it going, okay, cool. Let's keep the speed up and just see how this outcome of this race, how much faster could I have done this race, these 2 laps. So that's what I do now. I had the arrow helmet, I keep the speed that I have, and I just keep riding that speed. And as you can see, it's really paying off for me, because I am literally way ahead now. And I'm looking up at this, and I'm looking at the view of the race, and I'm thinking about where I'm at and how the race is going and how I'm feeling right about now. And my legs are feeling great. I was a little bit tired, but you know, just from racing, this was like my 3rd day in a row racing now. And so my legs are feeling a lot better now. And I'm just riding, and I'm waiting for the roundabout to come back up and come back around again, because I want to go into this roundabout really fast this time. So as I come around here this roundabout this time, I get my speed up at the bottom of the hill. I think I ended up hitting it at about 48. I got it up to 50 right here. And right at the bottom of that hill, you can see I came off a little bit because it's a climb, and I hit it at about 40, just under 49 kilometers an hour. And then I hit the top of it because I was coming into it pretty hard, and I was trying to maintain that speed. I hit the top of this hill right at 24 kilometers. And I was so happy now, because I was like, okay, cool. All I got to do now is hit the bottom of this next one. If I can hit it at 50, let's see how far I can get up on this next hill. So I come around here, and like I said, I think I should have used the arrow right here. It would have carried me through this hill, and would have given me enough speed to get down this hill. Probably I could have got down this hill about 60. You never know, man. That would have been wild. So I come back around this hill, and I come up here, and I go, okay, well, if I can crest just over 30 kilometers, I'm fine. And what I did, I ended up cresting it right at about 30. Yeah, right there, just under 31. And so I hit it here, and I hit my arrow right here, and it gave me another arrow. So once I did that, it just gave me a chance to get it up to 60. I got 60 kilometers here, and I just was able to maintain it. Once I hit double zeros, I hit the other arrow. And so what I'm doing now is just waiting for if you look at the top, you see my climb is going down negative. Hit right there. I hit right at double zeros. I hit the other arrow helmet, and you notice that I stay at like 49 kilometers, 50 kilometers, and I'm just riding this thing out, man. I'm really riding. I look down, and somebody's heart rate behind me is like 194. I said, he must be really young. So I'm looking back behind me, and I'm just riding this thing out, and I was very amazed at this race. I want to admit it. I want to admit that I had a great time with this race. This was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again. These are great and fun races, man. And once I got down to the end of this thing, it was nothing left. It was just me, so I just let this thing speed on out. But I want to thank everybody on that one. And we finna scoot on over to the next race. One thing to admit on this is that once I got through here, I got the green jersey. Now, we finna get into this next one. And this one was a different race. This is race number 4. I'm gonna show you in the beginning, you will see race number 2 and number 3. In fact, I may put them right here, race 2 and race 3 right here. You can see them beside each other, the results from those 2. But I did win race 2 and 3. And it was a great race. It was just that today I was just in the right mood mindset. These are really races that are meant for me. They're not that hard. These are cringe races, all of them. So it's pretty easy for me to attack these races. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get in this race. And at the end of this race, there's a 16, I hit 16:08 on the sprint. And there's a surprising ending to this thing. All right, y'all, let's get going. 2, 1, and we're off. And I take off on this one, and I am just like, okay, cool. We're gonna ride this thing out. I was like, okay. And what I had been doing on the videos on these races, I hadn't left. After that first one was over, I was just trying to test the theory. Somebody's like, man, you just going crazy. I'm like, nah, I just wanted to really test the theory out. So that was all about. It wasn't really me trying to lead nobody. It was just me trying to test something out. So the rest of these races, I kind of just rode in the pack. It was about the sprint at the end. I'm starting to work on my sprinting. So this was about, okay, staying with the pack. And what it forces me to do, because of my weight, I have to really see what the end is at. If there's a dip at the end, it can cause a problem. If there's a climb at the end, there can cause a problem. So I have to remember that when I'm racing these races. And as you can see, I'm just riding the pack with this thing. I'm not, it was not a thing of I'm gonna leave everybody. It's just a thing where you just ride in the pack. You kind of get comfortable and you just, and I got my teammate right there with riding with me. And there's another one, I want to say Dave was in this race, and he's riding in this race, and we all just ride pretty tight-knit pack. Now, you got people out front, which I know how I am. Sometimes if I get a good lead, I keep going, but it's still too early in this race. This race is probably about 4 miles, so I'm looking at it going, maybe it's a little bit more, maybe like 4.5 miles, somewhere in there. But I'm like, that's a little too long to be sprinting on here. So I just kind of let my weight do the work for me, and I look at, and this is why I like Sauce as a bigger guy. I look at the numbers everybody else putting out, and I look at mine, and I go, okay, cool. If I just maintain where I'm at and don't really push myself, I'll catch them with no problem. And that's the grace of having the weight that I have that pushes me down here, and the way they do the factors of that. But when it comes uphill, I pay the price. So, you know, you don't have, I can't have it both ways. Yeah, I get a good push on going downhill, but going uphill, like I say, that's where you got to work on your conditioning and endurance. And Ryan Condon is starting to talk about, he has a video where he talks about his endurance. And I want to say Zwift Analytics Network, if you ever get a chance to watch that, they talk about the weight factor in the ride. He's really, really, really good. So as we were riding, I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool, I'm just gonna stay with the pack. My whole goal is I'll take off. I want to get it down to 250 meters and then take off. And so, and I know right there, that's a hard thing for me to do, because that means I'll be trying to hold off everybody else. So everybody else gonna be looking for me to take off, and now I'm gonna be looking for them to take off. So I know that's what's gonna happen. I know that's what's gonna happen, is everybody's gonna be anticipating everybody else taking off. So, and they put me out in front, and what I would be trying to do, even on hills, is I'll try to stop pedaling for a moment and let them come back up in front of me. So as you can see, I slow down on the pedaling, trying to let them get back in front. And they kind of just kept, oh man, it was like they kept holding off. And so I slowed down a little bit and let them get back in front of me. And I was just trying to stay in the pack. And I wasn't pushing hard. The only time I pushed is like when it went up to 2.9 percent. So that, that forced me to start really pedaling into this. But as long as the percentage went too high, I could just lightly pedal in this thing, and I wasn't really trying to, you see my heart rate is at like 142. I'm not really pushing myself super hard on here. I'm just trying to maintain a certain amount of speed with them so that I can stay, inside the pack. It wasn't, I'm trying to keep my draft. When I realized my draft go down some, I kind of pull back up. It used to be when I used to race without the sauce, I would wait for the little bikes to come apart and tell me stuff, but this is more in depth. The sauce gives you a very, very good idea of what's going on in the race. And I can't even race without it no more. I used to not even use the map. I used to use the sauce overlay and use the game map. I don't even use the game map no more. Everything I use is all sauce now, because I've understood the readings, I understand the weight balance, I understand the draft, and I understand the power. So that's what I look at now. And as we're racing, you can see that we're coming around on this thing. We're riding really nice. We're on the second half of this 2 laps. We're on the second lap, because you see my progress through the thing is at 53%, meaning that we're on the second lap. So that's how I keep track of where I'm at on the laps. And on the distance what's left, you look over on the map, there's a 3.6 kilometer RR. That's letting me know what's left. And so that's when I know, okay, cool, I got 1,000 meters, or it counts down while on the bottom right there where you see the kilometers at, it's counting up. So I have a ton of ways to just keep input of what's going on me. That's the one reason I really love the sauce. I have my heart rate on the other side. I have the speed of the race going, and then on my phone I have everything in Imperium, where it's all in miles, so I know exactly what's going on all the way around me while I'm racing. So as we're racing, I'm looking up and I see, okay, cool. I just don't want anybody to get too far ahead of me. And I see that little pack in front had pulled off, so I try to get back up with them. And you see the guy come shooting past me. And I was wondering, should I take off? But then I look up at the top and I see it say 2.8 kilometers. So I was like, nah, just kind of let the guys in front of me pull me along. So I kind of got back behind it. And you know, this is the little hill, it's 4.8. And I kind of just let them pull me back into the race. And so I knew the guy had took off, but I knew he wasn't gonna get that far. So we all get back in the little pack again, and we're all around. They got me out front. They keep trying to leave me out front. And my whole goal, if you look at my watch that I'm putting out, I'm just trying to scoot back in the power with them. Even though I should have took off here, it wouldn't have hurt just to take off here and just keep pushing into it. I kind of, like I said, I kind of wanted to work on my sprinting. So that's what I was thinking about here. Okay, I'll just work on the sprinting and go from here. So we're all riding together and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. We gonna ride this thing out. And we're gonna relax on this. This is not a long race. So at any point, anybody could win this. That's what I was thinking to myself. At any point, anybody could win this race. And so we're riding, and I'm looking at the guy behind me, and I'm riding up front, he's behind me. And I see my teammate come beside me, and I look up and down, we got 1.6 kilometers, and I look at it, it's like 80%. I'm like, I could take off, but no, I'm not gonna take off. That's what I said to myself. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna ride in the pack. Two things. I had won all 3 of the first races. So this race was kind of like, all I need to do is place in the top 3, and I'm pretty sure I'll win the whole series. So it wasn't even about winning the series. It was more about, I just want to kind of stay and win. Now I want to say that's D right there. And that's Dave right there. He came shooting past me. I kind of forced me to speed up a little bit, but I just didn't want to. I think they wanted to egg me on to take off, and I didn't. I looked up and I saw we're at 900 kilometers. Now, at any time right here, I could take off, and I'll probably win the race if I took off now, because that would give me enough time just to hold off people. But I'm looking at it, and I'm looking for everybody behind me, and I start pulling off a little bit. I said, well, I don't want to really take off until I'm under 500 meters away. So, and I said, well, at that point, I should be able to see the end. So he gets behind me, and we got him behind me. We got everybody else in line. We're just riding right now until they come back up on me. And you know, normally I would take off. Any other time, I would have took off and just tried to, but I wasn't. I'm looking at the thing. Okay, it's just a little hill, and now we're coming on the downhill. I'm looking at the map, and we get ready to come down the downhill. And I'm going, okay, when do I take off? At 250, I'm taking off. That's what I tell myself. At 250, no matter what's going on, I'm going. And it drops down, and you see I'm actually starting to put it in now, and I'm going. I'm like, okay, cool. Nobody's gonna catch me. I'm doing good. I'm feeling great. I'm at 1,100 watts putting out. I see the guy behind me, so I put out even more wattage. And I look up and I go 1,600. And he passes me with ease. Oh man, I was like, oh no. Hey man, that was a great race. I want to give you, H, I want to mess with your last name. H, I want to give you your flowers, man. Great race, man. Great job. I want to tell everybody else, have a great week. I'm going to see y'all next Saturday. I know I'll be doing the 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know about the other ones, but with all that, right on.